In the early 700s BC, there was a prophet named Isaiah, and he was a prophet to both the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. And there was a time where God's people were struggling and they were going astray. And as Isaiah was communicating God's heart, he said this phrase that my house shall be called a house of prayer. A little over 100 years later, a lot had changed. The 10 northern tribes had been taken into exile. The southern 2 of the kingdom of Judah was about to fall. Jeremiah, communicating the heart of God for his people, had talked about how they had turned the temple into a den of robbers. These 2 words, they were powerful as God looked at the heart of his people. But then flash forward again almost 600 years. Jesus is on the move. He's been healing, delivering, leading. He is on his final week to the cross. And as he comes from the triumphant entry into Jerusalem to take his place as the King of the world, his first act is cleansing the temple. And it's here in that moment he uses the words of Isaiah and Jeremiah, and he says, my house shall be called a house of prayer, but you have turned it into a den of robbers. And there's so much that's happening in this moment. But when you stop and consider the significance of it, Jesus, who is on his way to the cross, but he's also on his way to his throne. Jesus, who is entering into being understood as the true King of all things. The very first act in that posture of his authority is to reclaim the house of prayer. When we look at the life of Jesus, we understand that there is a call and a centrality to prayer that was meant to mark our lives. As a church, we feel this deeply, that there is an invitation of God in this season to recapture the heart of Jesus about what it means that his house, his people, those who gather in his name, should gather in a house of prayer. That prayer is the mark and the identity of who we are. That prayer is just so much more than an activity or a practice that we do as Christians. It's the very fabric of our intimacy. That the people who pray find God's heart, and the people who find God's heart step into his will and his way for their lives. And in this season, we feel deeply that it is time for us to create more space to pray, more space to discern God's heart, more space that Jesus would look at the square and say, that house is a house after my heart. That house is a house of prayer. And so I want to invite you in this next season to consider what it would look like to make the prayer room and prayer part of your life and part of your schedule. And I want to just simply tell you, wherever I believe you create time and make room for God in the place of prayer, you're going to experience more than you ever could imagine. Prayer is the key to all that God wants to do in this season. And so I just want to invite you, come pray.